Hey y'all, and welcome back. And to the people who have stumbled upon this, thanks for stopping by. Today we will be reacting to another slapped hand video titled "This Weird Footage Doesn't Make Sense." Let's see what we got in store for us today now, shall we?
This is the scariest and craziest thing that's ever happened to me driving at night as a trucker.
A chilling piece of dashcam footage uploaded to TikTok by user These Haunted Hills is going viral after allegedly capturing something truly strange on camera.
Man, this scared the heck out of me. And it seemed like I was the only one who noticed it. Now you're going to see some really weird fog coming up here, and then there it is. I think it was a ghost truck. What do you guys think?
The footage seems to show what many are calling a ghost truck appearing in the middle of a dark highway. The video, said to have been filmed by a long-haul trucker, is being described by the driver as the scariest and craziest thing that's ever happened to me driving at night.
Yeah, oof. Man, this scared me so bad. And it seemed like I was the only one who noticed it. Now you're going to see some really weird fog coming up here, and then there it is. I think it was a ghost truck. What do you guys think?
The moment is so unexpected and surreal, many viewers initially thought it had to be a glitch until they watched it again and again.
And then there it is. I think it was a ghost truck. What do you guys think?
One viewer suggested that it might have been a warning of an accident that could happen. Another suggested the chilling possibility that the driver had just encountered a residual haunting. In paranormal theory, a residual haunting is believed to be a sort of spiritual imprint left behind by a traumatic or highly emotional event. Unlike intelligent hauntings, where the spirit is said to interact with the living, a residual haunting is more like a loop or recording playing itself back in the environment. It often involves repeated sights, sounds, or movements, such as footsteps, voices, or even apparitions that appear at the same place and time. If this event was indeed a residual haunting, some speculate it could be the echo of a past accident, perhaps a tragic crash involving a truck on that very stretch of road. The strange fog that appeared just before the ghostly image might even tie in with that theory, often said to accompany manifestations in paranormal lore. So what do you think is going on in this clip? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.
And then there it is. I think it was a ghost truck. What do you guys think?
Now, I want to start this one off with a question to all y'all. Y'all ever have an experience that happened to you personally and it scares you to the point where even thinking about it many years afterwards, that you still get goosebumps about it? You still kind of have you feel your chest tighten up and just you end up stuttering and stammering a bit. I'm actually thinking about my own personal experience with something, and I was just thinking about it. Right now I got goosebumps just thinking about it, and trying to find the wording for it. I'm not gonna bring it up here. I'll bring it up some other time possibly, but I just thinking about it. If I had a video for that, don't think I'd be putting music to it, I mean, yeah, I've heard of things happening like this before, and cameras can capture something that, regular humans can't see with their naked eye, right? But I don't know, it's just thinking about it and having that have music put to it, it tends to kind of go around to the side of a hoax for me. I mean, let me know what y'all think, but personal experiences aside from myself, I seriously wouldn't picture myself if I had video evidence of what had happened to me and what I have seen. I don't think I'd be putting it to music, because that's just me. So let me know in the comments below what y'all think about this. I mean, like I said, I'm leaning more towards hoaxes, and I know I've seen heard of residual hauntings. I've seen a few things myself with residual hauntings, but if it was so traumatic, so to say, for you, I don't think I'd be putting it to music. What y'all think? Let's move on to the next one now, shall we?
A curious piece of home footage shared to Reddit by user Kit10Catastro has captured the attention of paranormal enthusiasts after what appears to be a misty apparition was recorded inside a friend's living room. The video, filmed from a static indoor camera, begins with a calm scene, a dog lounging quietly in the living room. But within seconds, the animal perks up, stands, and leaves the room without hesitation, a moment that's drawn strong attention from viewers. Just after the dog exits, a mist-like shape suddenly appears in the bottom right corner of the frame. It lingers briefly before fading away. A few seconds pass before a second apparition, similar in appearance, emerges once more from the same corner. Shortly after, another shape briefly appears on the left side of the video. The soft floating nature of the shapes has viewers speculating about a potential paranormal presence, especially considering the dog's apparent sensitivity to the event. Animals are known to pick up on things we can't, one commenter wrote. That dog knew something was there. Interestingly, the dog doesn't appear frightened, just alert and uninterested in remaining in the room. This has led some to believe the presence may have been benevolent. Skeptics have suggested the mist could be dust, light reflection, or even a bug passing near the lens. But the timing, especially in sync with the dog's sudden departure, has fueled the belief that something more mysterious might have been caught on camera.
Animals have great detection, whether it's a sense of smell, hearing, or their sight. But they can detect a lot of things that humans can't detect. I mean, there could be a noise of something dropping in a room that you may not hear with your hearing, but a cat or a dog, they'll hear it. So, as I explained in another video before, with these cameras and everything, like CCTV cameras or some of those home security cameras, we don't get vocalizations or any other types of sounds, So what could have happened is maybe the dog heard something fall, or something, just a noise outside that they might have heard. If something fell, though, I think he would have been spooked a little bit more, But he might have heard something. It might have woke him up from his sleep. He looks, oh, okay, that's just my human. And then decides to walk, like, oh, I'm hungry, or oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. I mean, my cats have done that a lot of times. I've dropped something. They look over and they see, oh, okay, it's just mama. And then they get up, walk, go get something to eat, something to drink, or just go to another part of the area because I made noise and I disrupted them. They don't run. Sometimes if it's a loud noise, oh yeah, they'll run. They run to the bedroom, or they'll run to the kitchen, someplace away from the noise. But if it's something that's light and it's something that kind of quasi happens on a daily basis, and they were slumbering lightly, they'll look up and just kind of give you that kind of, why'd you wake me up look, and then just go off somewhere else where it's a little bit more quieter. Almost feel like maybe that dog was doing the same thing, because if, like they said, was quote unquote benevolent spirit and it's something that's happened a multitude of times, I really don't think that it would have disrupted the dog from its slumber. Let's be honest. And as for stuff that was around the camera. I mean, if these are something that's set up on a wall like this one seemed, I'm pretty sure not everybody dusts around every single day, because dust collects every single day. And so, could be cobwebs, could have been a spider web. Spider webs can appear overnight, so could have had some breeze blowing, because we do have a good time stamp on here, and it says July, and it was July 14th. And most of the United States, if this was in the United States, was in a nice hot season. Y'all remember this summer, right? Pretty warm, right? But anyway, I'm just some of the things that was saying, it was a little could have happened, but I kind of want to lean more towards the fact that, like I say, most people don't dust every single day. And I mean, if you did dust last week, chances are you really need to dust again today, this week, So, not trying to say it for y'all to dust your house, but y'all get what I'm coming at, right? Anyway, let's move on to the next one, shall we?
A sharp-eyed Reddit user, KillingTime64, has caught something odd in an old episode of The Andy Griffith Show, and while they're not calling it paranormal, it's definitely got people talking. Let's see if you can spot it. In the clip, two actors are seen emerging from a doorway when something small suddenly drops from the ledge. The poster suggests it looks like a cigarette butt, but there's no clear source. There's no visible person or prop that seems responsible, and the timing, just as the characters step into view, adds a layer of weirdness. I'm not saying it's paranormal, the user wrote, but it is strange. So what do you think the object might be? Take another look and let us know what you think it was in the comments section below.
So instead of leaving a comment in his section for this episode, I decided I'd go ahead and give what my thoughts are on this one. I really like this one because, it's something, something that I wouldn't call it an Easter egg, because it's not something that's going to be referencing towards anything else, but it is an interesting little find in, I guess you could say, older American media, So, I mean, back then, obviously, during Andy Griffith Show, you could smoke pretty much wherever. Nowadays, you can't. You could be lucky if you could smoke outside your house with the way some of these laws and everything are in some of these states. So, obviously, while people were doing, like the camera said, also people doing lighting and everything you could do for a movie set or a television set, they were smoking during that time. So it wouldn't be a stretch of the imagination that you have people who are dealing with the lighting, or maybe if you have a camera up on top of the building to do maybe a downward shot, like an aerial shot of Mayberry, since this is the Andy Griffith Show after all, it wouldn't be a far stretch that the cameraman or, the gaffer or, lighting and all sound, everything like that they would be smoking a cigarette, It's not a big stretch. And maybe they had a cue of where they needed to move, and they put their cigarette down, and there was a little bit of wind, because, you'll feel the wind. Wind's different on certain elevations. Like, I could be down on street level, not a breeze to be felt, but going up on a building, you're going to feel the breeze, because you're getting an unobstructed wind pattern or air pattern, so you're going to get a little bit more breeze as opposed to being on street level. And maybe the cigarette rolled off the side of the building and just decided to plop down right there. So, that's my little comment on this one right here. I know it's not paranormal. It seems a little strange to some people, but if you think about the timing and how most people during that time would smoke while they are working. I mean, office jobs and secretaries could smoke inside the building of where they worked. I mean, I would say probably even when I was younger, you could have teachers having a smoke room within the school where they could have their cigarettes during the break. So it was not a big stretch back in the like 60s and all that for where the Andy Griffith show is that people were smoking on set. So simply put, it's just a cigarette that ended up falling off the building from one of the crew members. Let's move on to the next.
The internet is abuzz with claims that the wildly popular Labubu doll, a collectible plush created by artist Kassing Lung and sold by Pop Mart, might be more sinister than it looks. Some fans believe the toy's mischievous grin resembles that of Pazuzu, the demon featured in The Exorcist. Now, conspiracy theorists are suggesting that The Simpsons predicted Labubu's rise, and possibly its cursed nature after the resurfacing of a clip in which Homer receives a cursed statue.
It's here! Maggie's first Pazuzu! Your father ordered this because... Why did you order this?
I thought it was pizza.
Originally introduced in 2015 in Lung's illustrated book, The Monsters, Labubu was inspired by European fairy tales. Its quirky design, featuring wide eyes, sharp teeth, and a mischievous smile, became a cultural phenomenon when Pop Mart launched Blind Box Toys in 2019. Since then, Labubu has gained a massive fan base, including celebrities like Blackpink's Lisa, Kim Kardashian, and Rihanna. Recently, however, fans have taken to social media claiming the doll gives off a strange energy. Some say their doll's eye colours have changed, and others have even gone so far as to burn their Labubu, fearing spiritual attachment. But experts and skeptics alike are pushing back. Outlets like Snopes and Vanity Fair confirm there's no evidence that Labubu is demonic. Lung himself has clarified that his characters are meant to represent childlike wonder, not malevolence. Despite this, the hysteria continues to grow. Pop Mart reported over $400 million in sales from Labubu products in 2024 alone, with rare editions selling for five-figure prices on resale markets. The hype has led to brawls at product launches, waves of counterfeit Lafufu dolls, and even public safety concerns in multiple countries. So, is Labubu really cursed? The jury is still out.
Now, do I personally believe that the Labubus are cursed? I will say there is a YouTube channel that I do watch on occasion who he's purchased quite a few Labubus, and he considers that they are agents of chaos because he's in another type of community as opposed to the paranormal community that I'm kind of more into, but I do like drifting over into that area. He considers, since he bought his first Labubu, since then a few things have happened within the community that he does his he does all his videos on, that he thinks that it was the Labubu who caused it. I mean, it's a joke and all in good fun, but he does call his Labubus the agents of chaos. So I know it's all in good fun, but it's kind of funny to think about, you know? As for me, they are kind of creepy looking, don't get me wrong, and I never really got into the craze. I did get one just to say I had one, but of course, when I unboxed it, it was a Lafufu instead of a Labubu. So after that, I just really didn't deal with him anymore. I mean, I got him still, but it keeps me, grounded in a little bit of like, don't trust a good deal, you know what I mean? But anyway, there's a few other things I've seen too where, kind of goes and adds to this little conspiracy theory pot that we got going on with the Labubus. Y'all probably seen a lot of the trends where people have been cutting them open and revealing like cameras or microphones and stuff like that within it. So I thought that was a bit interesting, and thought I would want to mention it in this part here. So whether they are cursed or Or are they spy equipment? I don't know. I've never had a real Labubu and never decided to take the energy of cutting up something that can be quite pricey to find out if there is any listening devices in them. As for its connection with The Simpsons, that is a pretty interesting one because, I mean, I have gone down the rabbit hole of some of the Simpsons, I guess you could say prophecies, so to say. I almost don't consider it conspiracy theories or anything. It's almost quite prophetic with some of the things that they have sat there and had on the episodes, and then months to years later, what they have been talking about or something very similar to what they were talking about has came to fruition. So, we could go down that rabbit hole, or maybe on another episode. Let me know what y'all think. Should we go down the Simpsons rabbit hole, or should we do something else? Let me know down in the comments below, and we'll just move on to the next one. I don't know if more we talk about the Labubus, they might come back and curse you. I don't know, but let's move on just to be on the safe side.
A chilling video posted to Reddit by user Available Time 7293 has sparked debate online after what appears to be a ghostly figure was caught on dashcam. All seems normal until the car exits the tunnel and appears to pass directly through a translucent, human-like shape standing in the road. The driver doesn't seem to react, suggesting they may not have seen anything at the time. Reactions from Reddit users have been divided. Some viewers believe the video might be authentic paranormal evidence, pointing out the uncanny timing and placement of the figure. Others, however, are more skeptical. Many have cited the video's poor quality, grainy and low resolution as a red flag. The lack of clear detail makes it difficult to tell whether the figure is real, a glitch, or the result of digital manipulation.
Or it could be another option. Now, y'all seem to notice when this supposed figure pops up into the camera, the dash camera, correct? Y'all happen to see the arrow that's for the highway telling it that that particular lane goes straight? Well, due to the grainy footage that this camera has, and it being nighttime and their headlights are on, other people's headlights are on, and they're just coming out of a tunnel, this creates the perfect opportunity for just, that strange aerial glow that a lot of those reflective paint can have. I mean, y'all probably seen it too. It looks a little weird in the middle of the night, especially if you put your brights on. Sometimes those yellow little dashes or the straight line kind of throws a weird kind of funky haze around it and makes it look a little bit bigger than what it actually is. I know some of y'all probably seen it. Any of y'all ever do any truck driving or just driving late at night anyway, you'll know that there's a bit of a reflection off of those reflective signs, reflective paint. It gives a little bit of a blur around the edges, right? And that just right there was just a perfect opportunity to create that pareidolia effect with the reflection to make it look like it was a ghostly figure. How simple as that is what all that is, because it just happened to coincide perfectly with the straight arrow mark on the ground. Not a coincidence. It's just actually that reflective paint. Let's move on to the next one now, shall we?
A video uploaded to TikTok by user Mikola is making the rounds after capturing a bizarre moment on a dark, unsealed road. This driver was deep in the countryside in the middle of the night when suddenly this happened. A half-naked man suddenly bursts from the darkness, sprinting across the road just feet in front of the vehicle. While the figure was likely a prankster, one thing's for sure, encountering a scene like this in the dead of night on a remote road would likely shake even the calmest of drivers.
Now I like this one. Bigfoot, is that you? So, sorry, I like this one right here. And who says that paranormal enthusiasts can't have a sense of humor? Sorry. You know. Okay. Let me try this one more time. Let me try this one more time. I can't. Let's just move on to the next one.
A recent photo shared to Reddit by user FastBoysenberry839 is making waves among paranormal enthusiasts after what appears to be a ghostly figure was spotted in a corridor aboard the RMS Queen Mary, a ship long regarded as one of the most haunted locations in the world. At first glance, the photo seems ordinary, showing a hallway typical of the retired ocean liner, now permanently docked in Long Beach, California. But a closer inspection reveals something chilling. A faint, human-like silhouette lurking in the corridor, partially obscured by shadows and distance. Viewers were quick to connect the eerie sighting to the ship's infamous paranormal history. Over the decades, the Queen Mary has gained a reputation as a hotspot for supernatural activity, with countless reports of ghostly encounters, strange noises, and inexplicable events. Originally launched in 1936, the Queen Mary was a luxury ocean liner that transported passengers across the Atlantic in style until World War II, when it was transformed into a troop ship and nicknamed the Grey Ghost. It carried thousands of soldiers during the war and was even involved in a tragic accident in 1942 when it collided with and sank the HMS Curacoa, killing over 300 men. After the war, the Queen Mary resumed civilian service until retiring in 1967. Since then, it has operated as a hotel, museum, and tourist attraction, but many believe not everyone aboard ever left. Some of the most well-known ghost stories tied to the Queen Mary include the Lady in White, often seen near the ship's former first-class lounge. Jackie, a young girl said to haunt the ship's now-drained swimming pool area. And the spirit of a sailor who was crushed by a watertight door in the ship's engine room, an area many consider the most active hotspot for paranormal phenomena. Visitors and staff alike have reported footsteps in empty corridors, phantom voices, cold spots, and even full-body apparitions. Paranormal investigators from shows like Ghost Hunters and Most Haunted have explored the ship and documented numerous unexplained occurrences. The image posted by FastBoysenberry839 has reignited debates about the ship's lingering spirits. While skeptics argue the figure could be a trick of light, reflection, or simply pareidolia, others are convinced it's further evidence of the Queen Mary's haunted legacy.
Now, I have heard of people going and investigating the Queen Mary, and it had a lot of problems. Like, a lot of people had done passed on in that boat. What they're seeing right there is that they made this boat into like a museum type thing, and if you could see closer to the person who took this clip, there is a mural beside them. So one would also think that there would be murals on other parts of the ship, correct? Since this is considered now a museum and people take tours there, not just ghost tours, but tours of this ship, then there would be things that would show daily life aboard the ship, different things in history that could have happened in and around the making of the ship. So this right here is nothing paranormal. It's just, if y'all been here, I haven't been here personally, but I do know of some relatives that have been there, and they talked about it being like a museum. So I mean, one would conclude museums do have murals and paintings and exhibits that would show life back in the times of what the museum is about, you know? So this is nothing paranormal. It's just the way the camera, like the person took the picture or they take the video, and it just looks a little eerie because they're not focusing on that as their viewpoint, you know? Y'all ever see, like, you take a picture of, I don't know, a building, and that's your main focus. So a lot of things on the outside of it will tend to look a little blur and look a little strange. And then you look at that picture and you're like, well, what the hell is that on the side of it? And your mind kind of throws a blank because that's not what you were focusing on. You were focusing on something else. And that's pretty much what this is. It kind of lends the air of eeriness about it, just simply because it is not the focal point of the clip, so to say, you know? So nothing paranormal here, nothing supernatural or spectacular. It's just a mural from the boat. Simple as that. But there is hauntings on this ship. There's been, people have talked about seeing different people, as he has stated, the lady in white, also the little person, the little child that has been spotted several times within the confines of the ship. And there's just been a lot of things that go around there. I mean, I've seen several more popular paranormal investigators, like people like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Kindred Spirits, just to name a few, who have been to the Queen Mary. I do believe one of my favorites, Katrina Weidman, has been there as well. She is from Paranormal State and Portals to Hell. So, there's been a lot of things with that. So if y'all want some good paranormal investigation of the Queen Mary, I would suggest maybe popping a look over at a lot of those television shows like Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, who have been to places like that. And I do believe they did go on it to Portals to Hell. I'm not 100% certain, but I think it was an episode of Portals to Hell with Katrina Weidman and Jack Osborne, who went on this particular location. But every time I close my eyes, I'm seeing Amy Bruni from Kindred Spirits and also from Ghost Hunters doing it as well. So if y'all want to take a peek at real paranormal activity that supposedly goes around Queen Mary, I suggest those places. And let's move on to the next.
New footage shot inside the infamous Devil's Teeth Quarry in Springfield Township, New Jersey, has reignited speculation surrounding the still unsolved death of 16-year-old Jeanette De Palma. Her body, found atop the quarry cliff on September 19, 1972, had sparked widespread panic tied to an alleged witchcraft ritual. But new evidence and investigation are casting doubt on the paranormal angle. Jeanette disappeared on August 7, 1972. 6 weeks later, a local dog returned home carrying the teenager's forearm, having found her remains at the quarry, locally nicknamed Devil's Teeth. Her body was reportedly surrounded by a rudimentary wooden structure and small crosses, sparking sensational claims of occult activity, though authorities later found no occult objects. Due to extreme decomposition, no autopsy was completed, and her death remained officially listed as suspicious. The Hulu series Out There: Crimes of the Paranormal revisited Jeanette's case, highlighting alleged anomalies like missing evidence. Her purse was reportedly collected, but never logged. A grassroots group, Justice for Jeanette, has lobbied for her exhumation and modern forensic analysis, citing flawed early investigative practices. Recent drone-style footage captures the bleak quarry terrain that fueled the occult rumours, with its steep cliffs and piles of loose stone, nicknamed Devil's Teeth, that locals believe created the perfect stage for ritualistic activity. Despite reinforced scrutiny, no verified documentation has emerged to confirm satanic or cult involvement. But rumours persist, from a satanic Bible found in Jeanette's room to local claims that a cult operated near Watchung Reservation. Those who knew Jeanette, many of whom say she was a church-going teenager, fear her murder may involve sinister secrets still guarded by witnesses. Whether this was the product of a lone killer or something darker, the truth remains concealed beneath the rocky ledges of Devil's Teeth. For now, the mystery endures.
I actually watched the documentary for this that they talked about from Hulu, Out There, Crimes of the Paranormal. Very good. If any of y'all haven't watched it, I suggest watching it. It's pretty interesting. As for Jeanette De Palma's, her death being part of an occult ritual, in all honesty, that was a rumor that was actually started by the pastor of her church, which also, in fact, she was at that point, if I'm not mistaken, dating the pastor's son. And so there's always a lot of speculation with something like that right there. And that they wanted to, because y'all got to realize too that this was during the height of the satanic panic that this happened. So when they were digging around in her room for any evidence as to what was going to be, like what happened, and maybe they were going to see the timeline given, for her as to where she was going, and if there was something she was hiding from her family. They found a satanic Bible within her personal belongings in her room. But, most of what was being said by some friends and things like that, she was only looking into it to be able to, she was at that age of 16, 17, needing to learn more about the world as opposed to what had been fed to her. That was one reason she had it. And another was also where she could sit there and kind of, what she wanted to be was kind of almost like a missionary type, where she needed, a little more information to kind of combat, so to say. But, the whole occult issue with the whole thing was not a real thing. It was something that was more perpetuated by the church that she went to kind of go, like I said, with the whole satanic panic thing. They still, to this day, have not found out who had her, sat there and murdered her and everything. They haven't found that out yet. But recently, when I was looking up and doing a little bit more information on this particular case, during the spring of 2021, convicted serial murderer Richard Cottingham, also known as, y'all probably know this one better than his name, the Torso Killer, stated that he had found De Palma while she was hitchhiking and disposed of her, best way to put it. As of yet, there has been no words, not a peep from the local police department and the law enforcement for the state of New Jersey if this is true or not, or if it's just a confession of a murderer on just whatever random murder that may have happened. Because a lot of them actually do that. It's kind of strange, but I guess they want to kind of heighten their infamy a little bit. If any of y'all had seen the show, let me know what y'all thought of it. I thought it was pretty darn good. And this one, it was really detailed and in depth. I had heard of Jeanette De Palma before the television show Out There, but I hadn't really dug into it as much until after the television show. And I mean, the whole thing is, I think it was 8 episodes or something like that. It was really, really, really good. I suggest if y'all haven't seen it, go and take a look on it. It's on Hulu. It's called Out There, Crimes of the Paranormal. Sorry, I'm no way affiliated with that, but I just like, if it's something good, I want other people to see it, so get some ideas if they like it or not. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. A little side note before we move on to the next one, actually. Might I suggest to lower the volume on your, whatever you're viewing it on, your computer, your TV, or your phone, just simply because there is a sound that can be quite irritating to some folks. I have tinnitus personally, and it's a bit of a problem for me too, so I just suggest y'all lower it if you have any issues with your hearing. Now we'll move on to the next one.
In early 2016, the quiet city of Forest Grove, Oregon, was jolted by a bizarre nocturnal phenomenon, an intermittent, high-pitched noise described by some as a mechanical scream, off-key flute, or steam whistle. The unsettling sound emerged near Gales Creek Road for approximately 2 weeks, prompting a flood of 200+ reports to local authorities. Despite investigations, officials swiftly ruled out common sources. No faulty forest department equipment, gas leaks, water valves, wildlife, or nearby trains were found to be responsible. One hypothesis proposed by the fire marshal suggested a malfunctioning attic fan or heat pump, but this was never confirmed. The sound ceased abruptly in late February 2016, and by March, authorities had discontinued their investigation. Theories ranged wildly, from malfunctioning mechanical equipment to rumors of alien activity, or even Bigfoot. To this day, the Forest Grove sound remains an unresolved mystery, a mechanical howl with no clear origin, gone as suddenly as it began. Decades later, it still echoes in the town's collective memory, serving as a reminder that sometimes the truth may never be discovered.
And this, I apologize for the sound. This was part of the video. I really, really apologize for that sound. I hope y'all took my warning to lower the sound a little bit on that, especially in that first part. That was just grating to my ears. But anyway, this is the last clip of this episode. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. If you did, please like and subscribe if you are not already subscribed to this channel. Now, one thing that kind of threw me off on this is it's a little something that doesn't have anything to do with the video, but kind of does, is that Callen said decades later it's still talked about by the community and everything like that. This was in 2016. It hasn't even been a decade yet for this sound has happened in this location. So I think that's a little strange that he said decades later. But anyway, I digress. It's just a little something that's a pet peeve of mine, especially when people use the wrong word. But anyway, as for the sound, somebody really, really, really needed to use some WD-40 in that town. I mean, oof. I really couldn't be able to sleep or anything like that, because that would just drive me insane. That was like nails on a chalkboard. And I don't know where they would think that that would be paranormal or anything like that. Granted, supposedly they haven't had any more sounds like this coming, but I just thought it was kind of strange that it only happened for 2 weeks in more of the coldest time of year. Y'all get what I'm saying? Sound a little suspicious, right? All I gotta say is somebody must have just checked out their attic exhaust fan or their, I don't think it was a heat pump. That sounds like it would be more like an exhaust fan, possibly. You know, those with those fans turning and everything. Maybe something with the belt needing to be lubricated or something. Because, I mean, that kind of reminds me almost like how, y'all know how when you start up a car sometimes it'll sit there and kind of make a squeal sound, and that's where that, you know, that timing belt ain't catching just right. That's what it kind of reminded me of, except a long drawn out of it, and that's just, ooh, sorry. Like I say, nails on a chalkboard for me. I hope it wasn't the same for y'all, because I feel bad that this had to be used, but I just wanted to make sure y'all got a fair warning to begin with, because as soon as I started hearing it, I was like, no, I had it turned up in headphones, and I just, oof. So I hope y'all did take my advice before this video and turned it down. Sorry, I went on a little rant about that. I think I will rant more about the sound than I did the actual video. So I'll just cut this short now, and like I said before, like the video if y'all liked it, and subscribe if you have not already subscribed to this channel, and I will see you the next time. Take care.